The name's Dave Stanley, manager owner of the Wheel Specialist Leicester. We started this business in 2017, a number of years ago now, and have proved to be very successful over that time frame, now running into something like November 2022. It's been an experience from start until today, but a challenging but also an enjoyable one, and every day is different. And it has been an education, shall I say, in running one's own business, having previously been involved in what one might call the corporate world. My early career was in banking, 4 or 5 years straight from college, and then I moved into the sales sector, working for FMCG sales companies, fast-moving consumer goods. As a trainee sales guy, moving up to be a sales manager and a territory manager. And then from there, I thought, I'm going to combine the banking experience, the finance experience, if you will, with the sales experience that I had gathered over a number of years, and moved into vehicle leasing with an organisation called Lex Vehicle Leasing. From there, as a sales guy, from there moved to a business called ACL, working as a sales guy, and then ultimately as a sales manager, running a team of salespeople across the country. Then towards the tail of that recession that we had in 2004, 2005, I was made redundant and looked to do something else, and started running a parts business for a vehicle manufacturer, looking after the distribution and the sales and the administration of parts across a certain territory within the Midlands, and we were very successful at that. I was probably too young to retire, and always had a sort of an itch I wanted to scratch running my own business. So I did a lot of research into the opportunities that were out there at the time. Franchising was something that caught my eye. Turnkey operation is a term individuals may understand. The ability to move into an organisation where assistance was there from the start, with a business model that had proved to be successful elsewhere. Now, my research at the time uncovered a number of franchises in the food sector, in the cleaning sector, the training sector. None of these really captured my imagination. Can't remember how I actually came across the Wheel Specialist. Must have been one day searching online, and it just captured my imagination. I, at the time, as I mentioned, had been running a parts business, and certainly understanding the local area of Leicestershire, I recognised that there was definitely a opportunity within my area in the Midlands, for refurbishment of wheels to a certain standard. Now, there are a number of organisations and individuals serving that sector in this location. Some good, some not so good. But the business model of the Wheel Specialist appealed to me because it was the top of the tree, the creme de la creme. And if I was going to get involved with any organisation, I wanted it to be the best. I've always enjoyed driving. Some people say, do you have a passion for cars? Well, passion, perhaps. I've certainly in this job met individuals who are extremely passionate, sometimes over-passionate, about their vehicles. I don't say I'm passionate about cars. I really enjoy the vehicle industry and the car industry. But really, I suppose I can say I have a passion for business. I have a passion for achievement. I have a passion for success. And I suppose this organisation, this business, the Wheel Specialist, has allowed me to pull together all those strings, an enjoyment of the automotive industry, an enjoyment and a passion for success, and a passion for achievement, and a passion for business. It is a varied sector. You will, with the Wheel Specialist, meet up with individuals in the retail sector. You'll also need to talk with individuals in the trade side, so dealership, insurance, business owners as well. So every day is different, every customer is different, but they're all seeking the same thing, which is a great job of refurbishment of their wheels, treated in a professional manner, with the result being a customer that's extremely satisfied with the job of work that we've done for them. So after quite a bit of research, understanding, as I say, the marketplace, really there was nobody within this area offering the type of service that the wheel specialists did. I must say, I did quite a bit of mystery shopping. I visited a number of the wheel specialist sites across the Midlands, and each one gave me the same sort of feeling that this is something I'd really like to get involved with. So following on from the various initial interviews with the wheel specialist head office called the Hub, I decided to go for it. And my wife and I set the business up, as I mentioned earlier on, 2016, 2017. It's hard work. You need to get yourself a really good team behind you, but the business model works. There are thousands of cars on the road, a number of opportunities to interact with those motor car owners, be it a second-hand car that needs the wheels refreshing, refurbishing, accident damage, brand new cars where individuals want to change the colour of the wheels, new market, second-hand market, accident management. There's so many opportunities, and so long as you follow the basic guidelines as laid down, not too stringently I must say by head office, then the business model does work. Whilst I didn't initially seek to get involved in the automotive sector with regard to a franchise business, it seemed to make sense with the experience that I had. If we look at franchise opportunities within the automotive sector, I suppose that the most expensive and perhaps the most profitable might be a motor franchise dealership with one of the major motor manufacturers. That sort of opportunity comes around few and far between. Those opportunities tend now to be mopped up pretty quickly by the big groups. And even so, if you wanted to do that individually, you're going to need one hell of a wheelbarrow full of money. So, that was not going to be an opportunity for me. Leasing, again, you need very deep pockets. And so, the wheel specialist's franchise business model allowed me to move into a sector where I was comfortable, where I had a pretty decent background knowledge of the players within that marketplace, and also understanding the challenges that the marketplace offers, both to the retail side of the business and also the trade side of the business. And as I think I mentioned previously, there was a gap I saw in the marketplace for a quality provider of refurbishment of alloy wheels, certainly within the location where I was based. I looked at a number of business opportunities that would, I'm sure, have been successful. However, the franchising business model just gave me the feel that I could be successful sooner. One's moving into a business model that's proven, that has perhaps a number of the individuals within that network have experienced difficulties or challenges that you might experience. So there's perhaps always somebody to lean on, to gather information that can move you on to the next step. There's nobody that knows everything, and certainly the franchise model, especially with the backup that a quality franchise will give, certainly through the early days of running a business, seemed to me to be paramount, and that's been certainly proved right in our experience, because when we first started the business, goodness me, there were so many things that one was trying to just get under the skin of. There's the business model, there's the process, there's the people that one needs to recruit and train and manage, and advertising and knocking on doors and sales and finance and talking to the bank, a million and one things. If you are looking for a franchise business within the automotive sector, there are some very well-known names Snap-on tools is one that springs to mind. There are other businesses in the, shall we say, chemical distribution. There are some smaller franchise opportunities, tyres, mobile, repairs, smart repairs, man in a van. There are lots of opportunities like that. The wheel specialist, though, gives you a professional site. You're going to need to find some premises. You're going to need to find members of staff. You will put together a professional looking business that's so much more than the man and a van, as good as they are, but you're doing more than that. You are providing a fantastic service to the community, if you will, in your location, be they automotive dealerships, be they business owners in their own right, be they members of the public who've bought a new car, who are looking to sell a new car, who've damaged their car. We've now had a number of customers, and I don't think it's because their driving skills aren't great, but we've had a number of repeat customers on the retail sector. And when they go away happy with what they've done, they tell their friends, which is a great way to grow your business. Organically is the way that people talk about it, isn't it? But it's having that word of mouth introduction to business, which means so much, not just to us, I think, but to the brand as well. Would I advise anybody looking at franchises within the automotive sector to look at the wheel specialist? Yes, I would. The business model has been proven across, I think now, 20, 25, 26 other sites across the country. How has the franchise helped? Fantastically. When one gets involved in a franchise, and as I mentioned, I've done quite a bit of research, they'll sell to you what they can do for you and how you can work together. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You know, when you've signed that franchise agreement, when you've paid a goodly amount of money over, do they just run away with your money? I think there are people out there, businesses out there, that do that. Well, the wheel specialist is not in that camp. I suppose one's business career has changed somewhat in owning a business rather than working for a business. It certainly requires a lot of man hours in the initial setup of the organisation. However, you are the boss. And that's something that I've always wanted in my business career. I wanted to experience within my business career. And that brings its benefits. Certainly as you get more successful within this particular franchise, you can potentially spend less time in the business, which ultimately I suppose is what everybody's seeking to achieve. But it also gives you the satisfaction of being in control of key, in as much as running a small business has key business decisions. The decisions are yours to be made, for good or bad. But if you're like me and you like to look back and think, was that a good decision or a bad decision, then this is the type of franchise, this is the type of business that I'm sure you would prosper in. When one works for a large organisation, as I have done through most of my business career, you're always at the behest of other people. Certainly in the major corporate world, one gets involved in office politics, people politics. When one rises to the top of the tree, the pyramid becomes steeper, and there's only so many places that you can move to. But within this type of organisation, you are the master of your own destiny, and it's down to you. You'll either prove to be successful and you're the right type of character to run a franchise or a business such as the Wheel Specialist, or you won't be. But it is quite nice to know that most, in fact not all, of the Wheel Specialist franchisees have proved to be very, very successful. In fact, I can't think of any where their business has failed through reasons other than perhaps ill health or something like that. In fact, I still can't think of any of those. So You're the master of your own destiny. It's yours to succeed or not. The framework is there. Grasp it by the nettle and get on with it. When we started this business, the ambition was to grow the business year on year, which we have, and then ultimately spend a little bit less time within the business and seek to do some other things outside. We're now in a situation here at Leicester where we have a stable team, where we have an individual I can trust to run the company when I'm not here, and ultimately I suppose we'd like to make that individual the manager of our particular site and oversee the running of the business probably on 2 days a week. Ultimately, who knows, we might even sell the business, but that's an option. If you're starting a business within the wheel specialist, or considering starting a business within the wheel specialist, do your homework. Due diligence. Fairly fancy name for doing your homework. Who is providing quality alloy wheel refurbishment within the area, within the territory that you're interested in? There may be some. I doubt there's many. Understand the nature of the population within that area. I was just about to allude to the fact that maybe customers need to be fairly affluent. They don't, in actual fact, because we get customers in here with, no disrespect to the brand, with 15-year-old Ford Mondeos who would like their wheels refurbishing. We get customers with brand new Porsche 911s that are £100,000+. So I've sort of contradicted myself there by saying, look at the affluence of the territory. No, you're looking at the amount of cars within the territory and the opportunities with accident companies and dealerships and all manner. But I'm sure there's nothing in any of the territories which is going to differ substantially from where I'm sited here in Leicestershire. When one enters into a franchise, a lot of sales speak is given, I would suspect, before the franchise agreement is signed. You're going to have to take that, no matter who, whichever franchise one enters into an arrangement with, on trust. And I'm sure there have been organisations through the years where they've taken a franchisee's money and then the support has been almost, if not, non-existent. That's not the case with the wheel specialist. They're there from day one. And what are we now, 6 years in? I think they're still, well, they're still there now. We're a successful organisation here in Leicester, but the brand will still phone and say, how are you getting on? How's things going this week? And I'll say, oh, we're really busy. How's this other territory getting on? Because I know they'll be asking the same about Leicester. They've been fantastic in the support they were fantastic in the support given during the difficult times of the COVID situation. They're still brilliant when I just can't remember something perhaps. Just get on the phone to the hub and advice is there and it's given, especially with such things in my limited understanding of technology, with applications and WhatsApp and Instagram and all these foreign sounding applications to me. They're really, really helpful as they move me, an old timer like my so-and-so, into the new world of applications that we're all relying on now. In short, they're there, and that is a major comfort, I would suggest, when you're handing over a substantial amount of money. Let's be serious about this, a substantial amount of money to a franchise on trust. They've proved to be fantastic. Expanding on that, not just with regard to administration, with regard to systems, but with regard to training, with regard to new products that have come onto the marketplace, with regard to issues that could have potentially been proved to be difficult with suppliers, with customers, that they're always there to offer advice, have always and will, I'm sure, always be there to offer advice, because I think it's fair to say they've probably seen it all before across the 20 or so and more franchises across the country. Not just backup and assistance from the hub, head office, but also the free flow of ideas and solutions from other franchise holders across the country. I often say to customers that come in, if we've not seen the wheel, the design, the colour, I bet we know somebody who has. And that's been really, really useful, certainly through the early days, but now, as the manufacturers seem to be producing more and more specialised wheels, it's great to know that somebody has probably seen that wheel before and can steer you in the right direction as to not necessarily what to do, but what not to do when you're seeking to refurbish that wheel, to make sure we maintain the standards and make sure that the customer is more than happy with the finished product.